Well, to all of you out there watching, this is going to be a really special Drumeo live feature because this is the first recorded video interview that any member of Sleep Token has ever done, and we're honored that Tu has decided to do this with us. So welcome here, thanks for tuning in. And for any of you who don't know who Tu is, he's a founding member and the drummer for the anonymous band Sleep Token, and they just put out a brand new album this year called Take Me Back to Eden, which is one of my personal favorite albums of this year, of 2023, and I highly recommend you go check it out because it's unreal and Tu's playing is incredible. But before we jump into the interview, what you see here on the YouTube channel just scratches the surface of what we do here at Drumeo. Inside of our membership, we have thousands of song transcriptions with drumless tracks, including tons of stuff from Sleep Token. We have a full method that will teach you anything and everything about playing the drums. So if you want to check that out, there's a link down below, drumeo.com/trial, and you can see everything we're up to in the members area. We're going to get into it. We're going to be talking about Tu's drumming. We're going to be talking about some Sleep Token songs, and Tu is going to be playing a bunch of tracks. Let's get right into it. Here we go. So from the drums, you can hear lots of influences just in your playing. You can hear rock, metal, electronic music. How do you apply all of this within your drum parts?
I've always personally taken a lot of inspiration from the UK dance music scene. Listening to the various subgenres of drum and bass specifically allowed me to incorporate stylistic traits from those genres into my vocabulary as a drummer.
So over the 3 Sleep Token records, how has your playing evolved from the first to the last album?
I would say that while my stylistic approach and goals have generally stayed the same, my vocabulary on the kit has expanded. I try to work on not always using the same phrases or using those phrases in the same voicing to ensure the parts remain somewhat interesting. However, this in itself is a continual work in progress. As a player, I will admit that I, like others, don't always achieve this, but to me, that is very, very much all parts of the journey itself. As I mentioned, I'm also a big fan of R&B and pop, which has worked its way into my playing. I grew up primarily playing metal, so the next obvious step for me was to blend these other styles in amongst heavier playing to add versatility to my drum parts.
I was raised, there wasn't no street lights, just pitch black and passing headlights. Where we met, there must have been dark signs, omens in your skies. Most days you reach for safety, remain calm, forget that you know me. When we met, I could see dark signs, alarm bells in your eyes. And I miss the man I was, the moment we left off. And I hate who I have become. Every time I wake up, and if you saw the marks on my dashboard, the new scars that I didn't ask for, would you call asking for answers? Tear my arms off. Most days you reach for safety, remain calm, forget that you know me. No, when we met, I could see dark signs, alarm bell in your eye. And I miss the man I was, the moment we left off. And I hate who I have become. Every time I wake up, and I miss the man I was, the moment we left. And I hate who I have become. Every time I wake up,
So when you're developing your drum parts for the albums, are you just coming up with those yourself before the rest of the song is built, or are you hearing the other instrument parts first and then basing your parts off of that?
Most, if not all of the time, I try to pay close attention to the vocals and figure out any specific syllables that can benefit from accents on the kit. I sometimes use the vocal line as a guide of sorts to dance in between what's being sung, to filling in those gaps, if you will. Typically speaking, songs don't start from a particular drum part. although this isn't necessarily deliberate. Another element I look for when writing are any specific syncopation that the drums must match. This could be a pattern on the guitar, a breakdown of sorts, something electronic. But I feel this takes away a lot of the guesswork when initially writing parts and provides me with a clearer idea of the song in question.
So around the kit, you can see you're using lots of different linear stickings and sticking patterns. What are some of the ones that you would say define your drumming?
I've always been a big Eric Moore fan, and gospel drummers in general. But I've taken a lot of influence from a couple of Eric's licks, find their way into my playing. As an example, I use an 8-note linear phrase, which is played as right, left, kick, right, left, kick. That, along with a phrase called the 3-1-3-2, which is a triplet phrasing of 9 notes, played as right, left, right, kick, right, left, right again on the hands, and then finished with 2 notes on the kick. What I particularly like about this phrasing is that it's 3 notes short of resolving itself. So, as a drummer, you're forced to be creative with those last 3 notes and finish sticking the phrasing in any way you see fit. Additionally, I'm a big fan of the standard paradiddle. I use this as a chop starter, often as I feel it's an organic way to prepare the listener for a slightly busier section within the drums themselves.
Let's talk about chemistry, 'cause I'm dying to melt through to the heart of the molecules, to the particles part like holy water and anything. Seems an undiscovered elements, either born in hell or ever since. Either way, I'm into it. Come between the light and white. I need it day or night. She's perfectly misaligned. I'm following her design. And how it relates to mine. I see it a different light. The object of my desire. Not passing along the line. Come between the light and white. I need it day or night. She's perfectly misaligned. I'm following her design. And how it relates to mine. I see it a different light. The object of my desire.
I also use the 6-stroke roll often in various elements of my playing, whether it's groove or fill based. Another song I enjoy playing live is entitled Like That. This is from our second record. Arguably, the drum parts in that song are, to this day, my favorite that I've written.
Trapped under the surface of your words, there is a new intention, new whispers that once could not be heard, catching your intention. Wait, talking with braces on your tongue, just to provoke my combat. New weapons to snap those final strings, just to watch me fall back. Do you like that? Do you like that? Push down into membranes and layers, creating a slow dissection. I stumble into your touch trap, an addition to your collection. Do you like that? Do you like that? Do you like that? Do you like that? Fall into your eyes like a to the sounds of your name. Fall into your eyes like to the sound of your name. All your pain.
So when you're performing live with Sleep Token, do you try to stay true to the record, or are you actually taking quite a few creative liberties in the live set?
I would say that most of the parts that I tend to play in a live setting vary drastically to what was tracked on the record itself. This happens for a number of reasons. Sometimes when I have more time to sit with a finished track while rehearsing for a tour, I can look at it through a different lens and subsequently come up with a more interesting variation live. On the other hand, these things can happen more naturally and take on a different feel or sticking due to simply playing a certain song for long periods of time across touring. each song that must remain true to the original. This could be a syncopated guitar part, or even an electronic part on the pads that serves more of a supporting role within the song.
And just like the rain, you cast the dust into nothing and wash out the soul from my head. So touch me again, I feel my shadow dissolving. Will you cleanse me with pleasure? It's that chemical cup that I can get down with, up like the moon and out like the hounds. A dangerous disposition, somehow refracted in light, reflected in sound. I'm coiled up like a venomous serpent, tangled in your trance, and I'm certain you have got your hooks in me. I know the way that it goes. You get what you give, you reap what you sow, and I can see you in my face. I know I am what I am, the mouth of the wolf, the eyes of the lamb. So darling, will you Nobody can say for certain if maybe it's all just a game. When I open my eyes to the future, I can hear you say my name. So rain down on me. Rain down on me. Rain down on me. Rain down on me. Rain down on me.
So, who are some of your favorite drummers who have influenced your playing over the years?
When I first started playing, I, like many others in my generation, were heavily into drummers such as Joey Jordison, Matt from the band Mudvayne, as well as the more extreme speed players such as Derek Roddy. I was very much obsessed with the gospel style of playing. I spent most of my early adulthood studying players
Well, yeah, I spit blood when I wake up. Sink porcelain stain, choking up brain matter and makeup. Just 2 days since the mainframe went down and I'm still messed up. Room feels like a meat freezer, I dangling like cold cuts. Missed calls, answer phones from people I just don't trust. Nerd talk, fake love, but I'll take a pound of your flesh before you take a piece of my pay stub. White roses, black doves, godmother, rise up. I need you to see me for what I have become. My mind, those eyes like fire. I'm a winged insect, you're a funeral pyre. Come now, bite through these wires. I'm a waking bell and the guns grow tired. Reset my patient violence along both lines of a pathway higher. Grow back your sharpest teeth, you know my desire.
Tony Royster Jr., Eric Moore, Thomas Pridgen, simply slowing down YouTube videos in a feeble attempt to understand their concepts, their stickings and influences. These days, I would describe my playing style as a mixture of that signature Abe Cunningham Deftones inspired heavier sort of grooving with a linear style gospel influence.
No amount of love will keep it around if we don't choose it. And I don't know what it's got its teeth in me, but I'm about
So, two, what are some of your favorite Sleep Token songs to perform live?
I've always enjoyed playing a song from our first record entitled Sundining called Higher. The parts in that song have always felt very interactive to me, very fun to play while maintaining a fair deal of variance across the song itself. In regards to any newer material, I enjoy playing a track called Disharmony due to the live edition of a drum solo that gives me a little more creative freedom, as well as its challenging feel.
Well, that's going to conclude this stream with two from Sleep Token. Two, thank you for being here and sharing your insights into Sleep Token's music. And with that, we're going to close with some final pieces of music from Sleep Token, and I'll leave this one to two. Take care, everyone.
'Cause I look for scarlet and you look for ultraviolet. We are exhausted by all this, pretending we just can't resist the violence. And you need the melody, I only need the silence. But each time we battle, the blood and the fury saves us a little higher. All that you believe, you still refuse to shelter me. 'Cause I am a danger, and you're a long way from home. You are one among many, but you're now on your own. And the way you look at me when I am not understood. 'Cause you can remember only when you're alone. I am granting you more than the debt that I
This is an offering from our third album, Take Me Back to Eden, entitled The Summoning. During a section on this song where specifically there are no drum parts, I added a live edition of a drum solo, and I want to break down one section of that. What's happening in this section is a group of 3 notes played as right, left, kick. Typically this would be counted as a triplet format. What I'm doing here is effectively counting this as 16th notes. So I'm playing series and groups of 3 over a feel of 4, which gives the illusion of the voicing itself modulating. An additional section within the solo is an 8-note sticking pattern of right, left, kick, right, left, kick. I play this twice through and the voicing changes with each repeat. Before I demonstrate this piece for you, a transcription-based offering is available at the link below. Once again, this offering is called The Summoning.
Something you say or something you do. Let's would be lying if I told you that I didn't wish that I could be your man. Or maybe make it good or bad. I've got a river running right into you. I've got a blood trail red in the blue. Something you say or something you do, the taste of the divine. You got my body, flesh and bone. It's got your body, earth below. Nothing to say and nowhere to go. The taste of the divine.
This track features on our first record entitled Sundowning, and it's called The Offering.
Say goodbye.
During the final breakdown in the song, on the last 8 bars, I play a pattern between the china and the floor tom. In my vocabulary, I usually play the sticking of right, left, left kick very often across many songs. To change this, I've taken away the left-handed double stroke and I play it as single strokes, as right, left, right kick. This is felt as 16th notes and continues across the whole groove. This song is The Offering from our first record, Sundowning.
You are a garden entwined with all. You are the silence on sacred shores. You've got diamonds for teeth, my love. So take a bite of me just once. I want to turn the page once again. Take a bite. This easy given, an offering in your favor, a sacrifice in your name. But I know you've got a taste, so just take a a part of me.